Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Ahead in this segment, we're going to find out more about an organization that impacts thousands of citizens who live in Milwaukee's inner city by identifying and organizing the resources that can be used to advance community development and expose obstacles that challenge and impair community growth as well as opportunity. Reverend Mose, he is the pastor of St. Timothy Missionary Baptist Church and serves as the first vice president of Pastors United, and Bishop Warren Kirkendoll, he is the pastor of Interdenominational Church of the One Lost Sheep. He serves as the second VP of Pastors United. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you both for being here. And Pastors United represents a strong and vibrant coalition of some 300 churches of many different denominations. If you would, tell us your mission and your everyday goals as an organization.
I think that Pastors United, the organization, the mission is to impact the city of Milwaukee and disadvantaged communities, and also that communities that might be productive. But our main focus is to transform disadvantaged communities to become productive. You know, I heard the other group that was on before we came on talking about disparities with people that are incarcerated, and we have a committee that deals with the high rate of incarceration. That is very important. Yeah. And so Pastors United is concentrated on just being a transforming, impacting movement, agency in the community that really makes a difference in people's lives.
Yes, because really, when I've had so many politicians, everybody from, you know, the Milwaukee County county executive or the mayor, whatever the case, many times they need the faith-based community to help them get their messaging out or to help them push an initiative that's taken place in the city, and that is where you guys come in many instances.
Yeah, you know, in our churches, and Bishop know this, is that in our churches, you know, I think it all begins in the church. Yeah. You know, community issues that we think as pastors is that a lot of the issues that people face in the community has a spiritual base, a spiritual component. You know, drugs and alcohol. People do things because they don't have a relationship with God. We see the world, our community, through a spiritual prism, a spiritual perspective. So we believe that in order to get people functional, that they have to have a relationship with God so that they can put their lives on a track, that they can be productive. And I think that Pastors United, that is why Pastors United is so successful. It's because we have that spiritual base, and people that are part of Pastors United, they come there with their church reinforced perspective to help impact and change people's lives.
Yes, and so I'm glad you brought that up because you have a number of initiatives that fall under the umbrella of what it is you do. And you just mentioned health and wellness, you know, people depending on drugs and alcohol in some instances. But we know that human trafficking is a serious issue all over the globe, but really right here in our city as well. And then most recently, there was a spike in STI and HIV numbers in the city. And so when you see these type of things come across the headlines, how would you say, Bishop, that you as an organization really talk about what can be done?
Well, when we, first of all, we have to go back to our churches and we have to talk to our members about this and let them know. Because see, one of the biggest problems we have is that we're ignorant of a lot of stuff that's going on, even of the HIV epidemic that's going on and all of this. So I think that what we really need to do to address this situation is start in our churches, start in our homes. You know, parents don't talk to their children no more. Everybody's texting. You know, it's crazy with, you know, one person on one end of the couch and another person on the other.
Have a whole conversation.
That's true. No more conversation going on. So I think that if we started off in the church, start off at home rather, then we bring it to the church. And this is why Pastors United is pretty effective, because we're talking to a bunch of pastors that we go back and talk to our parishioners about what we are learning and what we're gleaning at Pastors United, because they have all kind of people coming through there.
Right.
Talking about, in fact, we talked about AIDS today, the cluster, and we learned a little stuff about the cluster. That the cluster is not just one group of people, but it's a bunch of people. One person.
It's a network. That's
There
what
it is.
we
That's
learned.
It. That's it.
Yes. And we just had Dr.
And you know,
McManus here.
and one of the other things that in the conversation today we was talking about AIDS. See, AIDS is not on it's not a headline issue today, but it's affecting the disadvantaged community.
Yeah.
The black population.
Absolutely.
On an astounding rate.
And for a long time.
For a long
Pastor,
time, and see.
For a long time, it was almost taboo to even talk about those things in churches. So it is important for the faith community to say, you know what, we got to talk about these things.
We got to talk about those.
Very important.
Jesus saved, he still saved, he always saved.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about life too.
Right.
Right. That's the truth. So let's talk about crime and incarceration, because that is a subject that we have been focused on today, and that is one of the initiatives that Pastors United works on. You got zip code 53206. It has the highest incarceration rate in the country. Milwaukee is also ranked as one of the most impoverished cities in America. Ironically, both of your churches are in the 53206 zip code. Talk about what it means, not only to your congregation, but to you, to hear these type of statistics. And I think that, and this is just me on the outside looking in, I think that it's almost sends an unfair message about the entire community, because you've got hardworking people everywhere, but it's just interesting how these numbers all kind of fall in this one particular area. So talk about, one, how you see this 53206 and how it's paired with sometimes these negative numbers.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that in 53206, there are a lot of productive people living in that zip code.
Yeah.
See, so as a pastor, I know that we have issues, but the issues are not so overwhelming that we cannot impact. So basically, the way we do it at my church and at Pastors United, we always try to give out a positive message. And the positive message is that Bishop alluded to it earlier, that we know when we're going to do things that's really going to be productive, we have to have our family structure got to be right.
That's right.
That's one of the things in Pastor United is family structure. You got a good family structure, and people have a relationship with God. Because a lot of these issues, we believe they are spiritually, they have a spiritual genesis, so to speak. They have a spiritual beginning. So once you get the spiritual person right, then I think they can become productive in society. So we deal with family. You got to have a strong family, and you have to have a solid gospel, and the gospel that we preach and teach, that God is able to transform. That people, that no matter how bad things are, they are not so bad that they can't be changed. So we never approach the situation with a defeatist attitude.
Yeah.
I don't care where you are, you don't have to be there tomorrow. If you have some people in your life that is concerned about you and watch this, and believe in you.
Yes.
That's what a neighborhood needs.
That's right.
To make transformation, is that we believe in the people that we're preaching to, and Pastors United does that. I do it at my church, and I know Bishop does it at his church. We believe in the people.
Yeah.
And if you believe in the people, it's going to be all right, because you know what? God believed in us. How do I know that? Because he sent his only son to die for me.
So it's going to be some people thinking they don't have to go to church this morning because they're getting it right now.
But that's just what we
You're going to preach. Okay, so my question for you, do you think that the statistics put an unfair stigma on the community?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I really do, because, I mean, it's not just, really, and I know 53206 is kind of rough, and this is an area of poverty, but it's kind of all over Milwaukee.
Right.
It's kind of all over Milwaukee.
It's
not
all
just,
over America.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And so, but I remember growing up across North Avenue, Galena, Cherry, Walnut. This is where people were very much in poverty, and those people were bad. They were bad. Didn't no grass grow on that side of town. because the people were bad, and they grew up on welfare, and they grew up, and it was a thing that kept going on from generation to generation. Well, but they were put in that kind of position too, because when like jobs come out, the men couldn't get no jobs. The women could get the jobs, but the men couldn't get jobs. Men were put out of the homes. Families began to get broken up. And because the families were getting broken up, these children were growing up with this attitude. And they have no discipline, no respect, no honor, no moral values, no principles, no ethics. And they grew up this way. And now they begin to, their children begin to pick up the same.
It's a vicious cycle. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
So really what you guys are doing on a daily basis is breaking that cycle. So it's important to have you here. Before we run out of time, you've got your 5th annual dinner gala and awards banquet that's coming up on Saturday, April 28th. It's at Abundant Faith Church of Integrity. Tell us a little bit more about this event.
Well, you know, this event is going to really, it's the theme this year is the Year of the Woman.
Amen,
Year of the Woman.
somebody.
So that is that is really, you know, that is really appropriate because, you know, even on the national news, there's been a lot in the news about you know, the women movement, about the disadvantages of women in the workplace and things of that nature. So we just think that the focus on what women are really doing in our society is just so significant. It's so important. You know, I mean, women really makes a great difference, not only in the city of Milwaukee, but in our nation as a whole.
I love that. Your keynote speaker
is
Michelle Bryant.
Michelle Bryant, yes.
She's worked really hard over the years in making a difference here in the city. Well, I thank you both for coming by, and if people want more information, they can definitely give you a call and be a part of this outstanding event.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you both. Reverend Mose Fuller, he is the pastor of St. Timothy Missionary Baptist Church, serves as the first vice president of Pastors United, and Bishop Warren Kirkendoll. He's the pastor of Interdenominational Church of the One Lost Sheep. He serves as the second VP of Pastors United. For more information, you can call their number at 551-2379 for details on the 5th annual dinner gala and awards banquet. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.